Hey guys! Today I'm just going to explain to you a little bit about what a trinomial is. Now you can see here, this is a scary name, trinomial. What the heck is a trinomial though? Well, a trinomial you may have seen before and it looks something like this. The word tri means three, so basically a trinomial is an algebraic term with three different things in it. So for example, in this thing here, it's got an x squared, which is our first thing, x, and a number by itself. Three things, that's why it's called tri. Pretty easy, right? The other thing to think about as well is that with a trinomial, it has to have an order of two. What we mean by an order of two is that the highest that x can be is x squared. It can't be x cubed, it can't be x to the power of 4, it can't be x to the power of 1 million. It has to be x to the power of 2 at its maximum. So, let's look at how we factorize a trinomial. First of all, let's think about what factorizing is. Now, a simple example is this: 3xy plus 9y. Factorizing just means putting it into brackets. So for example here, this has been put into a bracket. We do this by taking out what we call the common factor. In this case, the common factor is 3y. Because if we divide this by 3y, we get x. And if we divide this by 3y, we get number 3. Now, when we're factorizing a trinomial, it's a little bit different. What we end up with is something like this, which is x plus 3 bracket x plus 5. Which means that everything in here is times by this, plus everything in here is times by this, and vice versa. So that means everything in here is times by this, and everything in here is times by this. Which means that we end up with something like this, a trinomial. So when we think about a trinomial and we want to factorize it, it's pretty simple. The first thing we need to think about is that it looks something like this, our end result. So our end result is going to be x plus a number, bracket x plus a number. So that means that basically the blank bits are numbers. So it could be like 6 or 8 or 10, and that's our job to figure it out. So what we need to do is we need to think of it like this. We need to find two sets of numbers that add to this and multiply to this. So in this case, we need to find two sets of numbers that multiply to 5, add to 5, and two sets of numbers that multiply to 6. So, on a piece of paper, you would write down all the numbers that multiply to 6. So for example, 1 times 6, and 2 times 3. Once I've done that, let's add these numbers together and find out what they are. So in this case, 1 plus 6 adds to 7, and 2 plus 3 adds to 5. So that means our two numbers we're missing is going to be 2 and 3, because 2 times 3 is 6, and 2 plus 3 is 5. And so we just plug them in, and so we end up getting x plus 2 bracket x plus 3. That's basically how you factorize a trinomial. Now it looks really hard, it sounds really hard, maybe even your college professors say it's pretty hard, but it's a very simple thing once you've practiced it. So what I recommend is going through and practicing questions online, watching this video a few times with a piece of paper next to you, writing down how to do it, and in no time, it's pretty simple. Thanks, and just reminding you that this is a lesson brought to you by MY HBCU. Enjoy.